Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive paradigm shift that completely redefines how we actually achieve our goals. The source material we're unpacking today starts off with a really fascinating question. Have you ever stopped to wonder what genuinely blocks us from the lives we want? I mean, we are so used to pointing fingers at the outside world when we feel stuck, right? But we're going to break down some brilliant insights today that challenge literally everything you might think you know about success. So consider this. What if the biggest thing standing between you and the life you want isn't a lack of money, opportunity, or luck? Let's be real, it's incredibly tempting to blame our circumstances. We tell ourselves things like, well, if I just had better timing, or a bigger bank account, or the right connections, then everything would fall into place. But what if all of those things are just convenient excuses? What if the real barrier is entirely inside your own head?
And that brings us to the core trap that holds so many ambitious people back. What if you're waiting for evidence before allowing yourself to become the person capable of creating that life? Think about it. We almost always want the proof first. We're essentially waiting around for the universe to hand us a signed, ironclad guarantee before we actually commit to stepping up and being the person who can succeed.
Section 1. The hidden flaw. The text brilliantly refers to this as a silent agreement with reality. We unconsciously walk around operating under this deeply flawed thinking that says, okay, once I achieve success, then I'll finally be confident. Once I hit that income goal, then I'll feel secure. We expect the external result to magically just hand us the internal feeling. But actually, scratch that. The truth is completely the opposite. Confidence and behavior create success. High achievers don't suddenly wake up confident after they win. No way. They win because they learn to think, act, and carry themselves like winners long before any results were actually visible to the rest of the world.
Moving on to Section 2. Identity over evidence.
Okay, so this is the absolute core thesis of our exploration today. The greatest transformations in human life always began at the foundational level of identity. Everything you do is deeply connected to who you believe you are. If, deep down, your belief is that you're just unlucky, your subconscious is going to actively hunt for evidence to support that exact narrative. If you believe you aren't good enough, you're going to hesitate the very second a golden opportunity pops up. If you think success is just for other people, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself to keep your distance from it. It's wild, but your life is really just a reflection of the story you keep repeating to yourself every single day.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Lasting change never, ever starts on the outside. It starts with a deliberate, active decision to stop identifying with the person you were and to start identifying with the person you are becoming. It's a psychological switch that you have to flip right now, in the present moment, completely regardless of what your current bank account or your resume looks like.
Section 3. Reality is a snapshot.
Now, you might be looking around at your life right now, dealing with your current struggles and wondering, how on earth can I adopt a successful identity when things are so tough? Well, I love this quote from the source text. Your current reality is a snapshot. It is not a prophecy. Just because you haven't achieved something yet absolutely does not mean you're incapable of it. The fact that you failed in the past doesn't mean you're destined to fail tomorrow. A snapshot just tells you where you are standing at this exact microsecond. It has literally zero power to dictate where you walk next.
Because, as we know, the proof always comes later. Think about it. The athlete puts in grueling hours of training before they ever become a champion. The entrepreneur is grinding away long before the business booms. The writer sits in silence and writes before anyone knows their name. The leader steps up and actually leads before anyone hands them a fancy official title. Every single meaningful achievement in human history required someone acting from pure conviction rather than waiting around for permission.
All right, Section 4. The power of patience.
Now, acting on that conviction without seeing immediate proof, that is incredibly difficult. It is totally natural to feel frustrated when you're putting in the work and just not seeing that immediate external validation. But that's usually because we misunderstand how progress works. Think of your goals like growing a massive tree. On day 1, you make the decision, you plant the seed. But look at those weeks and months that follow. From weeks 1 to 12, all that growth is totally invisible. You are developing underground roots. You might look at the surface and think, nothing is happening. But immense, life-changing progress is happening right there in the dark. It's only around month 6 that you finally see a breakthrough break the surface, and it can take years before the world sees the visible harvest. So, patience, it is definitely not a passive weakness. It's not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs. Patience is power. It is the active, resilient power to keep planting seeds when there is zero visible harvest yet, to keep getting better when nobody is in the audience clapping for you, To keep believing when your current circumstances are practically screaming at you to just give up.
Bringing it home with Section 5, Voting for Your Future.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? We've talked a lot about the high-level philosophy, but let's bring it right down to earth. Your transformation isn't going to be one massive, cinematic decision that fixes everything overnight. Instead, every single daily decision you make acts as a crucial vote cast for the person you are actively becoming. Every time you choose growth over comfort, that's a vote. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, that's a huge vote for your new identity. Every time you keep moving forward despite feeling fear, uncertainty, or doubt, you are fundamentally rewiring who you are, way before anyone else can see it.
And if you keep casting those votes day in and day out, eventually something magnificent happens. You hit a tipping point. The habits just become natural. The discipline isn't this exhausting daily struggle anymore. It just becomes a core part of your character. And most importantly, the confidence becomes real. Not because you're faking it till you make it, but because you've racked up so much undeniable evidence through your own private, quiet actions that your confidence is now totally inevitable. You literally stop chasing success and you just grow right into it.
And that is when you arrive at this beautiful realization. You stop negotiating with your potential. You stop wondering if it's possible for you. You stop questioning if you're capable. Why? Because you have already become the type of person who quietly shows up every single day and does exactly what needs to be done no matter how you feel or who happens to be watching. That is where true power comes from. Not from sudden motivation or luck or raw talent, but from the quiet, firm decision to be the person you intend to become, right now.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought, because the moment you stop waiting for evidence and start building your identity from the inside out, everything begins to change. The future isn't just sitting there waiting for you. It's being built by your choices at this very second. So when people eventually look at your visible harvest, when they look at your success and write it off as great timing or natural talent or just luck, will you remember the truth? Will you remember the exact moment you stopped waiting for evidence and decided to simply be that person now? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Start building that identity today, and I'll catch you next time.